On day release, demon sub tries not to crease, and Ewok's keeping nice and warm in bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the Candyman is opening another can. Technical difficulties, they're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, they happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. It's Yellowbelly Tabletop time. It's Yellowbelly Tabletop time. Sometimes they're salty about the gaming biz, and nobody knows who Upworlder is.
Boom! Back in the room. How we doing, guys? Welcome to another show.
I'm getting fucking roasted, apparently. I turned my back for fucking 2 minutes and fucking every cunt jumps all over me in chat.
And even I'm
joining
in this week. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live show. This is great to see everybody. Oh God, he's off with his ASMR noises. What's that? Your bloody mixer?
My vibrator.
Yeah. Hope we all had a good week. Gaming and hobbying and doing everything tabletop. So if you're new, welcome. We're going to follow our normal format over the next couple of hours. Before we get into it, though, let's shout the chat. The guys who are the co-stars of our little enterprise. The people here in the chat. Good to see you, Cheese Me. Hello, James Shakos. Who else have we got? In Spam, who is David's other half, and maybe joining us on camera later, because I think she's floating around David's house somewhere.
Yep.
Welcome to Darren. Hello, mate. Demon Sub. Go check him on Instagram.
Did you just say somewhere?
Yes.
Where is Spam always when we start stream?
You heard it in the music, guys. In the bath. So yeah, good evening to everybody. Darren's straight in there. You can tell why he's so productive in his Instagram account's got some amazing things on it, because he's always working and building something. So he finished a Gundam yesterday, and another one came in. Addicted to the Gundam, are we, Darren? Nice one, mate. Nice one. So yeah, over the next couple of hours, then let's break it down for you. First of all, David and I are going to tell you what we're going to be hobbying on, because this is a hobby live stream, people. So we expect you crack the whip, get that work done.
Feel pressured.
No, feel pressured. Feel all of the pressure. So yeah, we're going to tell you what we're going to be working on. And if you are working on anything, chuck it in the chat. This side, Paul, this side. Or if you're watching later on YouTube, stick it in the comments down below, because we like to see what you're doing. I'm just going to readjust my camera because it's a little high. That's a little low. One has over-egged that a tad. Then we will have a brief chat about gaming club on Monday. We won't go into...
No.
All right.
Let's spice it up and do it in a bit of a different order. Let's do the news before we talk about what we did on Monday.
We're going to mix it up. Well, the news is going to be easy because I fucking have none. The only thing that we will chat about is we actually went to ZatuCon in Norwich last weekend. So,
you said it wrong.
Well, whatever it's supposed to be. What is it?
Norwich. You said Norwich wrong.
Norwich. So yeah, we'll get into that. Then when we run out of other bollocks to talk about, we will tackle our main topic, which links to what we did at club on Monday night, and that was very much the trigger event. So this is going to be a main topic, which is sort of a spiritual journey of discovery for me, I think. But we'll wrap.
And for a change, Paul got salty, not me.
I don't know if that's necessarily much of a change. We both fucking like dishing the sodium chloride here. So yeah, we'll get into that. So do you want to go first, mate, with what you're working on?
Come on down.
Yeah, I'm on down.
We've got painting comp. Painting comp is June next week.
Oh, we're still doing the same thing.
Painting comp. Yeah.
Cheese Reed says, what you do at club always triggers. Not always.
So we're going to try and get through as many of these as we can tonight, because I'm not far off completing my psionics.
Oh, they did, didn't they? Yeah, they did mix it up. I'd forgotten that.
We're getting there.
Ooh, he's doing better than me, to be fair. Mr. Ballsack. Mr. Testicle Head.
Tell me he hasn't got testicles for a head. There you go.
I'm so gutted his name's not Scrote or something like that. That would have been much better than Maxim. Okay, mate. So, I don't know if David said. You guys will know because you were here last week, most of you. But these are the miniatures from the Mutant War. I never get this name right. Mutant Zone Wars by that's the thing. Although David's models are from the expansion, this is Mutant Zone Wars by Free League Publishing, who normally do RPG stuff, and it's sort of their first. I think it's their first foray into a miniatures game, isn't it, mate?
I think so.
And
you mainly got it because fucking anthropomorphic animals,
which we'll come to right now.
And I mainly got it because robots.
So where are we? Let's square that up first. I don't really want to see that much. Let's put the lid on the palette, and then it's going to be more visible. So yeah, I'm painting the anthropomorphic animals, as David says, from the starter box. So we have the moose, we have the fox with his cool eye patch, we have Mr. Duck, we have the rabbit stroke hare stroke whatever he is, probably hare, and we have the warthog. So, gonna get these done.
Awkward
Oh,
moment
just
that Pandy wanders in after we said about Mr. Ballsack. Health. Love you, Pandy.
oh, that means yes. I have something else to share on stream, but I don't know where I've put it. Oh yes, I do. It's by the door over there. Okay, that's fine. We'll share that later. So, yes, for those of you who don't know, the painting event at our local club this month is new arrivals. So as this was a relatively new game, nobody else at the club has got any or plays it, and it's not been on the market long. David and I thought, well, I'll tell you what, let's kill two birds with one stone.
I'll tell you what's going to be cool though, because if people at club like it, you can build your own characters, and character building's a piece of piss.
Yeah. To be fair, actually, yes, it is. Creating custom profiles for new models is not difficult at all. Mate, I only realised because I watched an unboxing or a let's play on the internet the other week. Have you seen the lines on the bases?
Yes, I have.
And you know they mark the 180-degree field, which is important for the models.
Yeah, do you also know that I don't give a flying fuck?
I'm just saying you might want to mark the base edges before you obscure that line. I'm just saying because it only occurred to me after I watched the video. I thought, oh shit, yes, I better mark that before I then cover it with base texture. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be working on. So if you want to get what you're working on in the comments or in the chat, we can all do some hobby together. So
I feel really conflicted because right now I've got you in one ear,
yeah,
and some Lord of the Rings ambience music in the other. I don't know how I feel about it. It's making you sound fucking epic though, dude.
I'm glad it takes Lord of the Rings fucking ambient music to make me sound epic. Now, here's the dilemma. Do I finish my pipe or just crack on with painting? I guess I can just crack on with painting, otherwise I'm not going to get anything done, because I rarely do on stream, do I? Right, come on guys, off the wet palette, let's get on with this thing. So,
oh shit, let's start my timer.
Yes, so ZartuCon. Should we get into that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do
you know what, actually, before we get into ZartuCon, Paul, so Pandy, who is Paul from Pandyman and Entertainment, check him out on the internet. They do 2 miniatures games. They do Trench Offensive, World War One, trench-based small squad skirts, craziness, and they do like a modern-day sort of solo.
Oh, Paul.
Yeah.
I take it you've not been near Instagram this week, have you?
I'll be honest, I post the stream on Instagram.
If you were following Pandy on the Instagram,
yes,
you would see that in 2026 he's got a new game coming.
Has he?
Yes, he has.
Okay.
Dwarven Holds with some cute little what's it called? Like animal artwork at the moment.
Okay. I didn't know that. Is it only
I know.
Is it only on Instagram, Paul, or have you got it on your main website blog as well? Can I bring that up for the folks at home?
Dwarven Holiday. Sorry, Pandy. I was doom scrolling at the time. My attention wasn't necessarily all there.
What's he said? Is it? I might. It's on Meta only. Okay. I don't know if my Instagram account is logged in on any of these browsers, or rather the. So I'll have a shufty. I'll have
Well,
a
I'm going to do better than
shufty.
that. Should I just take a screening and send it to you on Discord?
No, that's fine. I'll see if I can get into Instagram through one of these browsers. Instagram. Oh, no, actually, I won't. Fuck, that's a nightmare. Yeah, send me a screenshot. Make yourself useful. Send me a screenshot on
Fuck
Dixord.
you,
Um, meanwhile, let's get into. Oh, I centered that, you bastard. What the hell's going on here? Oh, I think this is going to be the evening for technical difficulties, guys. Those of you who noticed my comment in the chat, I had an absolute fucking nightmare. Thank you. I had an absolute nightmare. Just before we went live, I was getting upload speeds on my internet of about between 110 and 600k per second. So I was getting like 90% dropped frames on my OBS stream, and it was like, oh shit, a brick. And I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to fix it. So luckily, it appears I have. Otherwise, we would not have had a live stream.
There you go.
Excellent. Right. Okay. So I will try and get that shared with everybody. How am I going to do this? Right. Let's go here.
Let's paint Mr. Scrotum's face, shall we?
Okay.
Not yet, because that's still wet.
Save image to saved pictures. Save. Right, I'll see if I can work out the easiest way to share that with you guys late in a bit. So yes, Pandoad Entertainment, check them out. So apart from being cold, Paul, was R2Con worth it for you? Did you find it a rewarding thing to do as a what's the
seller?
Word? Yeah,
retailer,
displayer, participator, whatever. Give us the TLDR in the comments before we get into it. I'm gonna be. I think my first job is to. I'm gonna go with Vallejo.
Pandy said it was worth it. You found a load of new friends.
Oh, do you know what, mate? I'm really glad. That's awesome to hear. Yes, we have. It was small is probably your biggest understatement ever, Paul. So it's the first con I've ever been to where I was able to step back and take a photograph of the whole event.
In one frame, I hasten to add as well. That's not a panorama, boys and girls.
That's just one shot.
To be fair, there is a little bit of disingenuity there because through in the gallery and auditorium that you guys may have seen before on some of the other Dicini coverage that we have, there was an open gaming area and some demos.
Yes. So where you can see the gallery and auditorium sign, just sort of like to the left of that image, left of center, there was as David said, there was some tables and a board game library, which I think Zatu had provided for people to go and basically to basically go and I don't know what's going on with the Asda thing. I imagine that was something else. Yes, cheese me.
Actually, cheese me. We'll come to that in a minute. Right, we'll come to that in a minute.
Okay.
So me and Paul took.
Talk. I'll paint. I like this.
5 minutes to walk around and see what we got. There was a few guys selling Pokemon cards and collectibles.
Do you want me to go through we managed to get photographs of. We managed to get photographs of all of the exhibitors.
We got photos of everything.
At
did we?
ZartuCon.
Everything. Yeah.
So,
Everything.
Here he is. Here is the famous, the infamous Paul from Pandyman Entertainment, with his fantastic Trench Crusade display boards, which you see.
No, he hasn't got Trench Crusade, dickhead. That's a Kickstarter that's just finished. Trench Offensive.
Oh, trench offensive. All these trenches, god damn it. Yes, in the pink shirt. Actually, just in front is your modular one, isn't it? Looking at that image there, Paul.
Yes.
Your modular trenches. Paddy's crying. Sorry, it's trench something. They've stolen it. You should sue, mate. You should sue. You should sue. Fucking, I was here first. Get off my lawn, you should say.
You said it wrong because we were in Norfolk. Get off my land.
Get off my land. But yeah. Oh dear. So
Hey,
yeah,
Darren, at least people know who Pandy is.
Yeah, that's true. He is famous. So yeah, Paul was there. Right at the entrance. These guys, Foreskin or something. Foreskin, was it?
They do a lot of
Foreskins.
3D print commissions and all sorts.
Yeah, they're basically doing 3D prints and STLs and blah blah blah. This was a local board game cafe, I think, that had a stand.
Yes, there was.
Get out of my trench. Spam, get out of my trench sounds like a line from Brokeback Expo. Oh my god.
We're coming to have words in a minute. I'm just saying.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, stars, you mean to go on. These guys were doing, like, I guess it's like role-playing game accessories, wasn't it? It was dice trays.
Dice, wooden rolling trays.
Leather-etched stuff. I think they had dice and counters and various bits and pieces. All very cool. And then we found David was lucky enough to come across his retirement home.
We found where I live, boys and girls.
So apparently he's got his eye on a nice little cottage, so he's going to retire to this place. I think you can understand why.
Get the sodium chloride going, boys and girls.
And bearing in mind, wargame, or assault rig.
Any minute he's going to storm in and pull the plug out of the bath.
Oh dear. Yeah, this is where David's going to set up in the North Sea just to refine all of the salt out of the oceans, just for us. And that's it. We're back to the beginning. That was ZartuCon.
Zartu had a presence but didn't have everything.
Zartu had a stall that went right across the back.
Latest releases. But because Norwich is the gaming city for us, it's kind of our local.
Overselling it just a tad.
It is our local though. Where have we got that's better, that's closer?
Well, true. I mean, the gaming city, Jesus Christ. Well, just in case you didn't understand what parochial fucking hicks we are, David just gives it all away in one casual comment.
We went down to Langley. You picked up some paints, didn't you?
Yep.
We had a look at some Tenfold Dungeon.
Yep.
Which was quite nice. Not necessarily the cheapest Tenfold Dungeon available, but he did have a look at discounting it some more for us because he was discounting it. And he also, should I share this with the club? Should I share this with the room?
Can do. What do you want to go on?
They
Desktop?
had a shit ton of Battlefield in a box
Yeah.
from Gale
Go
Force
Force
9.
9's Battlefield in a box. I'll tell you what, I'm quite impressed with the Battlefield in a box stuff, the new products. Although the guy running the shop did say that it's the same old fucking problem.
Spam!
This is true.
I nearly got away with it.
I'm not saying anything as I managed to leave my mobile on a fucking stall at UK Games Expo. Luckily, it got recovered. But David basically paid for his shopping and was so busy fucking gas bagging, managed to leave it there. So we walk halfway across Norwich. Oh, did I pick my fucking rocks up? No, you didn't, obviously. That's why we're going back. But yeah.
Then we had to wander down to Athena, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Oh, bless him. If you're the little guy in glasses at Athena that tried to give David and I won't say the hard sell, but if you're the guy who tried to get David and I to pull the trigger on the new Underworlds, I am ever so sorry.
Best thing is, Paul, I'm not. He fucking walked into that hook, line, and
Hi,
sinker.
Crispin. Yeah, so we went to Athena Games in Norwich, and David and I were just browsing the various...
Just perusing, weren't we?
I'll tell you what, I'll give a shout out to Athena here. If I lived in Norwich, I'd be quite chuffed to have Athena as my local game shop. They have a massive range. You know, you walk into some places and it's GW, and that's it. Well, Athena is very much not that. I would say
Athena does have a fair chunk of GW, but it isn't the only thing.
No.
They have the multi-award-winning Moonstone.
I would say they're more than 50% not, to be fair, mate. In
board games.
Wouldn't you?
Probably. I'd say it's probably close to 50-50, maybe.
I didn't see Bot War, James, but it doesn't mean they didn't have it.
They do usually stock Bot War, but it was not in stock this week.
Paddy says that sounds like a local Warhammer store. What, stocking everything but Warhammer, Paddy? If that's the case, I don't think that manager's going to last long. I can see his area manager taking issue.
And then, because we, what's it called? Because every time we've been to Norwich, it's been a Sunday, and Zartu don't open on Sunday. We went to the Zartu warehouse, didn't we, Paul?
We did. And if we found that the Zartu Con was a crushing disappointment, imagine what it was like when we got to the actual shop at the Zartu warehouse. Oh dear, fucking hell.
Yeah, that was what's the polite way of putting it? A shoebox?
Yeah, I was gonna say a cupboard with some games in it. To be honest, I think I've got more product upstairs in my spare bedroom. Unfortunately, it was underwhelming, let's say.
Considering they're a web retailer, and again, I think some of the issue is, like, again, we were looking at pictures on the website, but that's when they used to have the cafe and used to have more of a presence, etc.
Yeah, I think they had something in the town centre.
They haven't updated it is a little bit annoying.
Yes, if you're looking at their you might find their Facebook a little misleading if you're going by the images on there. That is their old premises in the centre of town. The new thing is compact and bijou, is I think how an estate agent might describe it. One
bed apartments in downtown Tokyo are bigger.
Yeah, so it was an interesting weekend. Saturday.
To be fair, though, we did walk away with some shopping having been done.
Yeah, we both bought Battlefield in a box, actually, didn't we?
Yes,
I bought the Swamp Pack because I'll show them off sometime on stream. I don't know Battlefield in a Box by Gale Force 9 is a great terrain range, and they do a set of they're almost like rubberized plastic rivers. They're highly flexible. They come pre-painted. Literally, all you've got to do is glue flock on the banks and verges, and then all the different packs fit together to allow you to build modular river systems on your tables. They do like rivers, which are the wider ones. They're about 3 to 4 inches width. Then they do streams, which are about 1 to 2 inches width. But obviously you can use the streams as rivers on smaller scale games. They have a pack that's got fords. They do ponds. They do loads of things. And the only thing is that I will say about Battlefield in a Box, which is, for those who don't know, basically just pre-painted and ready to play terrain. The range is getting great, but it's so fucking difficult to get consistently. Everyone we talk to who stocks it or has stocked it struggles to keep it in stock. Supplies are so erratic, and I don't quite know why that is.
I think some of this has to do with the fact that the company themselves are from New Zealand, aren't they?
Gale Force 9 are from New Zealand, and I believe the stuff's mostly manufactured in the Far East somewhere.
Malaysia.
But like I say, whatever their logistics issues, if you ever see the stuff and you like the look of it, buy it.
Buy it, because you
won't see it again. Like I say, I've been picking up, because again, the rivers come in bends, straights. There are even like merge pieces where you can use the streams and rivers together, so they merge the connections and go from one width to another width. But like I say, it's taken me years just picking up the odd pack here, the odd pack there, to actually get the stuff and get a decent collection.
Then I bought some. What did I buy? I bought some like Mesa terrain. Probably is the best way of describing it.
Yeah, like sort of like Table Mountain style rock things, rock pillars, I guess you'd call them, weren't they?
Yeah.
For like a Badlands desert, stone desert look. That's what David bought. All sort of now they looked on the box to be like in a chocolate brown. Have you opened it up? How dark are they?
Bear with me and I'll run and get them.
Cool. I might I have to go and get something from over by the door, so I may, when David gets back, I may slip out longer and get my pools and that as well. We picked up a present for a friend, which I won't go into because obviously I don't want to spoil it, and he may be watching. So we picked that up from Athena. I picked up a Batman graphic novel, the Joker's War anthology, which I've started and looks pretty damn good.
Let me go to my desk cam.
Yeah, okay. James says it's produced in Malaysia, but the problem is the range is huge, so they have to make it in waves. That makes sense, James. It is a fucking shame.
Bought Volperian deck building game. That's R2.
Have you had a look at that yet?
I've had a look at the rules, but I haven't actually played it yet.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Come down to the desk cam, boys.
You got yeah, I got my Batman graphical novel. I think that was pretty much it. It was not a huge day for spending money, but then again, David and I do have a commitment to not buy new games.
Desk cam, bitch. Desk cam.
Shut up. I'm coming. I'm hobbying, mate. Cheese me. Desk cam. Stat. They're more of a
So they're
reddy brown than they appeared on the box, mate. I don't know if that's just your lighting there. I like it.
I'd
I like
say
the colour better.
they're a little bit darker than the box artwork.
Are they?
Yeah.
Maybe it
Look,
was
side
just
by side there.
maybe it was just the lighting in the shop, but they looked very brown.
So yeah, there's how many pieces were in this? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces for how much was it? About 19 quid. So not necessarily the cheapest, but
Yeah, but considering you just open the box and stick the bastard on the table and play.
it is literally what I was just about to say was the fact that that's ready to go, no effort included.
Yeah, literally. I mean, again, to be fair, this is probably why they can't keep it in stock.
Just stay on my desk cam a second.
I consider the stuff to be superb value for money.
So, boys and girls, I cracked out the Montana spray paint on Monday.
Trying something a little bit new.
Painted them pup containers. So this is just over raw MDF, 1 and a dust coat. It's gone on really nicely. There's a couple of elements where it hasn't quite fully covered, but I'm gonna work with them rather than fuck around. This is bone white from Montana. I'm not bothering to paint the interior because I'm not a heathen. And to be fair, I can't currently get the lid off, which is awesome.
That'll be because no doubt the wet paint's dried and it's.
There you go.
Down.
It's off. I'm not bothering to paint. No.
Heathen.
But what I am.
Why
what I am
not?
going. Because I tell you why not. I have clear PLA filament, don't I?
Yes.
So I'm going to print a little rectangle to go inside these windows.
Yes.
And apertures so that I can then put like a flickering candle tea light or RGB color cycling light inside these containers.
And what's that got to do with not painting the interiors?
Well, like, you can't play the interior when it's full of fucking candles, can you, dipshit?
You take them out. You're not gluing them down, are you?
No, because I'll need to get access to the batteries, etc.
Well, there you go then.
Now, my only concern is this at the bottom. I've got a lot of like what I would define as hazard striping.
Ooh.
And I don't feel like hazard striping.
Oh, that could be hard mode. You feeling like phoning that in?
Yeah, I am.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
What colour would go nicely with this bone white for picking out like this roof detail, some of this panelling on the side, probably this back gable end?
Red or orange would be my vote.
That's what I was thinking. Both of which are shit colours. But hey-ho.
Perfect for Space 1999. Who the hell remember? Are you as old as me, Cheese Me? How do you know what Space 1999 is? That's crazy.
Shut up, you two. Get a room.
Oh dear. I tell you what, they were called Eagles, weren't they? Eagle Landers. Iraqi sand against white. We're going for the low contrast option. I don't think that's probably the best choice.
Right,
we want
you
something...
can probably come away from my desk cam now.
We
mate.
want something with a little bit more punch. Hello, Ewok. We want something with a little bit more punch than that.
Do you want to know the best thing? I'm currently painting camo like a bell end.
What do you mean you're painting it like a... Well, you paint everything like a bell end because you are, but what would you mean you're painting your camo like a bell end?
Painting the camo on Tula's trousers. And really wishing I hadn't started. But hey-ho.
Are you going with the camo off the card?
Yep.
Bollocks.
It's like a Fallschmäger fucking oak leaf pattern. So it's green, blue-green, orange, and then yellow.
Yep, sounds like hard mode. Where's my paint hole? Where's my fucking miniature holding paint handle bollocks thing? Must be on the floor somewhere. I'm not grovelling around for it.
News this week. Is there any?
No,
Probably
there
fucking not.
ain't. I haven't seen anything on the YouTube or internet that's made me say.
I tell you whose news you have got to bring up.
Yeah.
Dwarven Holiday.
Oh yeah, I have. Hang on a minute.
And then we can get a bit ranty about what we did at club this week.
What's the time?
22.
Oh, we got plenty of time. Right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to go and get the surprise from Zartukon that I said I was going to save, and I haven't cheated.
You better not have.
And I'll be back in a
I'll break
minute.
your legs on his behalf, Pandy. Yeah, that's what he's off to get now. Anyway, boys and girls, what is everybody else up to? Question. Let's see if I can find that orange. Is that 1970s orange enough, boys and girls? I don't know how well that's coming out. Let's see on the fucking Video Ninja. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Look how orange that bastard is. That orange enough, do we reckon? It's pro acryl as well, so it should cover like a motherfucker. Because that is the one thing I am finding about pro acryl paints. They do fucking... Thanks, Cheese Me. Much appreciated. Do. This is a little bright and ostentatious, but I can't say I'm mad at it. Little bit of wash, blend it all back together. It should be golden. Looking out a bit intense there, but I hope. No, I'm not talking to my penis. I'm currently dotting fucking lime green onto this camo pattern and kind of regretting it, kind of not. I don't really know how I feel about that, but we'll roll with it because in for a penny, in for a pound. Then I think I'm just going to give a black wash to blend it all together. Are you getting your ass out the bath yet, or are you just going to sit in there all night? Just saying. Do.
Right.
He's back, boys and girls. He's back.
I have too much crap in my house. I have not got a clue where I have put my shopping from Saturday, which is annoying.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, it was on that chair, and then I've cleared it away, but I don't know where.
What you mean is you've moved it into an ADHD doom pile somewhere, and then you're going to come back to it in 4 to 8 business years.
Oh, fuck knows where it is. But importantly, I have not lost this. So, Paul from Pandyman Entertainment has produced his trench offensive rules in a lovely Mark II collector's edition hardback bound version. So I picked myself up a copy at ZartuCon because he had a few with him. Now I believe these might be limited edition, and I got mine signed and numbered. And after we read the dedication, which was a very tame "Thank you, Paul," I said, "No, come on, you can do better than that." So go on, really go to town and put something, a little bit more edgy. And I said, what we'll do is I won't read it, but we'll reveal it on stream. So
How edgy has he gone?
I don't know. Just warning, this may be not safe for work, people.
Oh, we're going to your desk cam, are we?
I'm just
Awesome.
going to go and set up the desk cam, and then we'll go live with it. So this is Oh.
You got to do it now, dude. You
Yeah,
got to
that's
do
it.
it.
Nice one, Paul. Well done, mate. So there we go. That's our dedication in our limited edition Trench Offensive rulebook.
Also, looks like
Well,
you're painting.
and
a
I tell you
Santa for
what, it is
Christmas.
nice. It's nice to have a little A5 books are the way to go. Games companies. These little folio, I don't know what they call them, editions, A5 editions of rulebooks.
Pocket size,
Pocket size. They're
probably.
fucking awesome for taking to gaming clubs and things like that.
They don't take up a lot of space on the
So,
table,
yeah.
which is nice.
Really pleased to get that, but now obviously I do have to paint Santa. So yeah, I was going to show off the Battlefield in the Box stuff, but I can't find it, so tough shit. So yeah, that was it. ZartuCon, bit of a disappointment. Now, do you know what? Here's the thing, right? Zartu is obviously a fairly big online retailer based in Norwich, which is why they obviously held the event there. You've already got Dicini, which is the Athena Games sort of sponsored con at Norwich, which we've been to many times. And I don't know for definite what's the reason that Zartu have gone their own way and are doing their own thing. But if it's to do with like the politics of fucking retail envy, I implore Zartu and Athena to just pool their resources.
Kiss and make up.
Yeah, just just work together, guys. Norwich doesn't need 2 events. And if Zartu's going to be doing that sort of thing, if you're if anybody from the bloody Dicini events team is watching, just get Zartu involved in your project. Do you know what I mean? Charge them the earth, give them the biggest plot slot, and just get them on board. I'd be jealous of 2 events. I don't even have one. You wouldn't be jealous of Zartu. You won't. So Pandy says he thinks that they should travel ZartuCon around. Really, mate? Don't you think they should just drop into the existing event schedule? I mean, why a retailer of their size? They're a very broad church. I think they do CCGs. They do board games. Certainly.
Yes, they do.
They do a fuck
basically
ton.
everything.
They do a fuck ton of miniature games. They do Warlord stuff. Star Wars stuff from Fantasy Flight or AEG as it is now. Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, they're getting really big.
But the thing is, this was kind of our disappointment turning up at Zartu. was the fact that the pictures on the internet that they're updating the opening hours and bits and pieces for on the regular, the pictures for the shop are not representative in the slightest. And yes, they have the gaming space, and it isn't just the shoebox shop, and we didn't go in the gaming space. But the flip side of that is they're massive. They're on a fucking huge industrial plot at the edge of the city. They've got what? 2 warehouses, one of which is half gaming center, half storage. The other one's just full delivery and warehousing system. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
come on, guys.
their unit actually on the industrial estate is massive. Obviously, it's the shop. I mean, to be honest, it looks
Well,
like
again, the
it looks
shop
like
is the security, what used to be the security gate for that particular plot.
literally that's where a chubby guy used to sit there and drink coffee and eat donuts. And they thought, oh, we could turn this into a shop. Really? Could you? No, it's a bit mad. Yeah, I'm sure Shakos is right that I'm sure that there's a ton of fucking politics and bullshit around because I mean, yes, again, Zartu are technically going to be a competitor of Athena and I'm sure that's part of it, but fuck me, just fucking
Grow up.
kiss and make up because surely it's the best for the event at Norwich. It's all surely.
Well,
It's
again,
the
put it
best.
this way. If they do it again next year, we won't be going back.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Whereas we'll go to Dicini year on year.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I don't know whether Zartu would like to get an invite to Dicini. Maybe they would. But I wouldn't be going to Zartu Con again. It was absolutely not worth the time and effort to go to it, free or not. Yeah, yeah. I'm not surprised. Yeah. So Shakos says the local YouTubers show PickleCon was bigger than that. Pickle Fest. Um, but yeah,
Again, size doesn't always matter.
that's what she said.
Well, no, look at it this way. Size doesn't always matter because, again, Hereward is bigger than Dicini. But we always make the effort to go to Hereward. We always make the effort to go to Dicini. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. To be fair, Dicini and Hereward are a nice size, I think. You've got plenty because they're single day events. There's the right amount of stuff to do in a day without feeling
not like Salute.
pressured and stressed. Because obviously we have talked about Salute again recently. James Shakos and Spruce, who's in the chat, was saying that it might be easier than we think to get hotels and that at Salute. But David makes a point that that's the other side of it. It's a single day event that's so big. There's like, how do you even tackle it? What do you see and what do you not see? You know, do you literally sprint around like a maniac? So you're literally glimpsing things or taking.
We're not, again, Trevor, we're not knocking Zartu. Me and Paul will regularly buy from Zartu. What just makes us gag and fucking stare in disbelief is ZartuCon.
No, on the contrary, mate, I am not knocking Zartu as a retailer. In fact, I'll go even further. They are the first place that I choose. I always check them first over Goblin or Wayland, just because I found them to be great in terms of customer service and communication, particularly when I'm buying my Fantasy Flight stuff, which does have slightly erratic supply
Printing
issues,
schedule.
and it can be out of stock for months and months at a time. You know, I definitely rate them as a retailer, no questions asked. but their event was a fucking joke. Over. Sorry, Crispin. Yes, sorry. Even over the business daddy of those fantastic people at on Tabletop. I don't.
Yeah, I've had some bad experiences with Wayland in the past,
I have,
and
to be fair.
I will say Goblin and Zartu have never let me down.
Yeah, I've found that I don't know if it's because Wayland are bigger or whether they've got better, but one thing, let's face it, guys, we participate in a hobby where there are often stocking issues and stuff is difficult to get for months on end, and I haven't found Wayland particularly good at keeping me up to date on when I'm going to get my shit. If it's out of stock.
I will say one of the lads at work is currently struggling with Element and his 5th edition. What's it called? 5th edition Operation Sandtrap.
I've only shot
He's still not got. He's still not got it in hand at the moment.
And how long's that been?
He ordered it before Christmas.
Okay.
And he's chased them, and it's been, yeah, we don't really know when we're getting it.
Yeah. Okay. And I take it that they're not taking the initiative and keeping him updated.
No. An hour. Darren, she can be in there 3 or 4. Just saying. Wow, Shakos, that's a little harsh.
Yeah, Goblin Gaming are great.
Goblin are awesome. Goblin
yeah,
are.
I had one problem with Wayland when they would ship me my £90 Star Wars thing for the 20. She's in David's bath, so it's actually a salt bath. It's like the dead. It's like the Dead Sea. She's floating.
What actually happens is she floats in it for over an hour because it's saltier than the Dead Sea in there. Literally, if you want your product salt testing, just send it over.
Right. Okay. So
I'm painting Mr. Scrotum Head. Right. It's 5-2, and it kind of leads into main topic.
Should we kick it off with what we did at club so that we can flow seamlessly into it?
Almost as if it was planned, boys
Before
and
we
girls.
do that, what colour am I going to paint? What other browns am I going to use on this warthog guy?
Cork.
Cork brown, you say?
Nice and pale.
Uh-huh. Because I've got he's got like a Roman Legion-esque sort of like skirt thing. I'll see if I can show it off on camera. You guys can maybe give me some ideas here.
You do that a minute. I'm currently painting Scrotum face.
Cork brown. So like he's got this jerkin thing. Focus, god damn it. So he's got this jerkin thing, which I've done as saddle brown, which I quite like. And then he's got this. Can you see they're like the Roman legionaries used to wear, like vertical strips of leather with a stud at the bottom, and it's like as an under thing. Austin Allegro brown. Then he's got the belt and pouch, which is going to be another shade of brown, or black, I guess. I was thinking what I might do is tone his gloves, the pouch and belt, and the boots, do that all the same brown. So I'm picking out different colour points on the model. I think that wrapped handle, there's like a wrap on the handle of the weapon as well. That probably needs to be another colour. But then again, I could duplicate, because without being there's no adjacency, so I could duplicate whatever colour I do this. So what suggestions do we have? We've got cork brown, orange brown. What number is that? Is that one of the model colours? Orange brown.
131.
Thank you, sir.
Because I've just been using it for my camo.
Yeah. Where was it?
Has your wife just found you your goodies?
She has. I'll show it off in a second.
She's a good egg, isn't she?
She is, bless her. Yeah, so 131 orange brown. It's got to be that. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. So, and then if I do like a darker brown for the gloves, something like burnt umber for the detail bits, like boots and stuff, that might work, mightn't it? Because again, it's got reddish notes in it. This guy's going to have a lot of reddish colours. That could look quite cool. So that's okay. We'll go with that. Thanks, guys.
Mr. Scrotum Face has been painted.
Yeah. Yeah. This was what I bought. So Battlefield in a box. So essentially, what you get is like 2 of these. Now this is the swamp set. So you get like 2 of large resin. In fact, see if I can unpack this. Knife! Give me the knife.
This is a knife. I love the fact that Shakos knows his numbers by the more complicated numbering system, though.
Yeah, I was thinking that. The 700 dot fucking whatever it is. Okay. So, this is what you get. So you get 2 of these. You can probably just see, let's go back to my desktop camera, see if we can show it off. So, here we go. You can see, look, they've pre-painted some of the details. And considering this is like, you know, sweatshop pre-paint, I think it's pretty bloody good. There's a little bit of a bubble in the actual resin material.
Yeah, I've just seen that.
But again, I could if I wanted fill it. But do you know what? It's a swamp piece.
You know what you
fucking
should do for
terrain.
that? You know what you should do?
What?
Just make a little reed set and stick over it.
That's a good shout. Get a reed. Yeah, just a tuft. Just put a fucking reed tuft over it. That's a brilliant idea. That's
Not
the
just a pretty
reverse.
face.
So it's like this. It's, if I can show you guys, it's got some flex to it. You can't really see.
It's slightly rubberized, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is. It is more. It is quite rubbery. It bends. It's like that. Now, the advantage of that is that this stuff is fucking indestructible.
Yeah, because that's one thing we will say. GameMarket.eu, you make some beautiful resin terrain, but for a club and it getting yeeted into a box, it's showing its age after 6 years, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. This stuff would actually be fantastic for a club because it is virtually bulletproof. And then they give you the flocks and the static grasses in little bags inside the kit, and literally you just PVA, sprinkle your grass to finish, and you're done. Yeah, it is a fantastic material, isn't it, James? It's got just the right balance of it holds detail beautifully, because I'm assuming they cast it. It holds detail fantastically, but it's flexible, doesn't crack. At least I'll have it. I mean, the only thing I will say is I don't know how this would age. Like, if you own it for a decade, I don't know if it might become brittle.
Yeah, true.
The most I've had my stuff is 3 years. I think is some of the oldest river pieces. Maybe 4 years, maybe. So whether it gets brittle with age, couldn't tell you. Jury's out. But I think it's fantastic. I think that was about 30 quid. So I get 2 pieces that sort of size. If we go back to the main shot. I mean,
See, I think, again, yours will last longer than my pre-done raids that I got from Matey on YouTube.
Do you
Because
think?
mine are a little too flexible. Yeah, mine are a little too flexible.
And then they also do, in the same box, you get the 2 large pieces. Then they do a tiny little piece that you can just put, like David said, you can decorate it with reeds or flock just to put on your table as loose scatter. But
Aura's Island's in the middle of your... What's it called?
Aura's Island's inside the bigger ponds. To be honest with you, Rich, you could play that with anything, mate. You could use it for bolt action, Malifaux. It's just a swamp. It's just a swamp puddle. I could use it with anything.
The only thing you might struggle to use it with is Frostgrave.
Yes. Okay. Fuck
so you can't use it with everything.
Clown. Do you know what? I haven't got
and I've got another game that you can't use it with.
See, Shakos, that really annoys me because
Billion Suns.
James says, "Shut up, Billion Suns, you loser." Shakos says that their roads are really good. Now, I've never seen their roads, and this is the problem. It's a fantastic terrain range, but Jesus fuck, try finding the stuff. So you would say, so their roads are worth getting, are they? If I can. What sort of roads do they do? Tarmac, or is it dirt track, or what?
Anyway,
and his are 6. James says his are 6 or 7 years old and are absolutely fine. That is awesome. You see, that's going to annoy me now because I'm going to have to go shopping for their roads, and I bet you I'll find nowhere that's got the bloody things in stock. So yeah, gaming club. So there's Tarmac and World War II Dark Track. God damn it! Right. So in March, David and I intend to go to Mantic's Armada event. Night, Darren.
No, Darren.
Yes. So we intend to go to Gale Force 9 Ewok. It's the Battlefield in a Box range. These things. As we were saying, if you find them in stock anywhere, get them. Because the big problem with this stuff is the fucking stuff's impossible to restock and it's never in stock.
That awkward moment where you become a board game retailer just to try and get access to Battlefront in a box.
Yeah. I mean, it might actually have fantastic availability in New Zealand. But sadly, I don't live in New Zealand. So...
I thought you did.
Useful. Yeah, so David and I are intending to go to Mantic's Armada event in March, which is a tournament event that has sort of been pitched or targeted as a
Event for newcomers.
yes, event for new players. Now, in anticipation of this, David certainly has been playing a lot more Armada, haven't you, mate?
Yes,
And
I've had.
this week at club.
Sorry, Shakos, what?
Yeah, he's saying there's a 30% off at the Battlefront store web shop.
Gonna have to go have a rummage afterwards.
We've just lost David. What was I saying? Yeah, so David's been playing a lot more, and Monday night was my first time to get Armada to the table in a long time. And we played the volcano scenario, didn't we?
In hot water.
Yeah, out of one of the supplements. You know which one?
Dread Seas.
So I don't know how many games of Armada I've played, but I think I've only had one game that was a bit. Oh, I didn't really rate that as a game in the past. I've generally enjoyed Armada when I've played it. So in preparation for this game, David and I did a lot of sort of theory crafting on list building. You know, he 3D printed me some new stuff because he's a member of the Mantic Vault, aren't you? So you've got all of the stuff for that. I think the 15th, but don't quote me, James.
8th.
8th. I was close. Just see if it's got any tickets left.
It has, because they were advertising they've only sold 7 at the moment of the 20.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, you can still go.
He's away.
Bugger.
Damn it!
Damn it! So yeah, we theory crafted some lists, and David printed me some new stuff. And I went to the table to really try and push my Armada game to the limit. And I'll be honest, by turn 2, I was absolutely jarred off with the whole thing. Turn up with your Black Seas fleet. You could try it. To be fair, Mantic probably wouldn't give a shit. I know Ronnie wouldn't. So yes, it wasn't a great game for me, and David and I basically started a huge autopsy to try and work out why not.
No, you started the fucking autopsy. I just got involved and started ripping the guts out of it while you were at it.
Yeah, because, like I say, I have previously enjoyed Armada, but oh my god, did I find that game frustrating. I think there were two things primarily. Number one, being totally honest, I made a ton of stupid errors. I deployed badly. I made the wrong decision at the beginning to not send all of my ships after David's fleet, but to rather keep us basically separated by the volcano in the middle.
Yeah.
Which gave David which meant that essentially we were both playing a game of unopposed objective collection, but David played the spoiler ship to actually just steal one from me, which was all he needed to tip the balance in his favour. So yeah, massive strategic and tactical errors were made. Another thing is, we had too much terrain. And I can confidently say we had too much terrain because when I went and looked later, the I discovered that on Mantic's website, in the download section, there is in fact a fucking guidance document on how to do with sample layouts for Armada. Let's see if I can bring that up for the peeps at home. Actually, I've still got to show Paul's thing off. Let me go to. There's far too much to do here.
Ow! I've just run over my own toe.
Armada. I need downloads.
Hey, babe.
Oh my god. I want the download
Did you bring your...
section.
No, they're on the bed.
And did you bring your headphones?
Yeah, I've got one in.
It's connected.
Alright, okay. I found this dead easily the other night. Why am I not finding it now? Where the hell is the download section?
Is it in the resources section?
Where is the resources section? Okay, so
But
this
yeah,
is...
Paul, send a postcard. Paul set up like a prick. And the other thing that Paul did as well is how I split my ships. I have one with 75 hull points, and then the others that are relatively low on hull points. Paul decided to start chasing my big boy, which was the one ship that he was on his side of the board. Not necessarily the smartest move and or play, but hey, oh dear.
Okay, this is really annoying me now.
Cheese Me's just said, there she is.
Yeah. What hanging?
Oh, right.
Right, hang on a minute. I've got an idea. Don't tell me. I'm going to try this a different way.
Didn't you send it to me on Facebook, Dick?
Oh, fuck's sake. Probably.
Look, we've got technical difficulties, boys and girls. I'm sorry. I'm painting.
That's
That'll
correct.
do. Oh, you're going to want that drawer that you've just slid up to. You're going to want them.
Here it is. Right. Okay. Let's
Do
see
you
if we
put
can
them at
share
that?
this with the people at home. He finds it. Finally. Let's...
Braining Yellow Belly Tabletop. Yeah, Paul's a little bit old, bless him. He's not far off needing a home, to be brutally honest.
Copy. Paste and go. Get rid of that. Go here. Go here. Go web browser on.
I love the fact that
Hurrah.
you talk to yourself.
Hurrah! Hussarsa. Fade. Right. Okay. So, if you spend a month and a half searching Mantic's website for something that should have been in the core rulebook, Mantic, what the fuck? You will eventually find the Armada map pack. I might even put a link to this in the description because I can't believe how hard that was to find. So, basically, it's got a whole host of table layouts, okay, which gives you an idea of how much terrain you need to play Armada. And
I'm sorry, what?
We basically had a fair bit more than this, didn't we?
For fuck's sake.
What?
Sam's currently building miniatures from our glorious and lovely company, TT Combat.
Yes.
Foot's already fallen off one.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Yay!
copy link. Can I actually open
Waiting
this?
for Ewok to do a sea shanty. Oh, should we have a Yellow Belly Tabletop sea shanty?
There we go. How about that? So that is a corner of the table that we had. And that corner of the table has more fucking terrain in it than the entirety of some of these maps.
Yeah.
So, whoops.
We may be being a little overzealous with our terrain.
Yes. So, to cut a long story short, I ended up with a pretty... I walked away from the game and I had not enjoyed it. And I have previously enjoyed Armada. Hence, which triggers, obviously, the autopsy, as we spoke of before. I've identified some of the factors that annoyed me. Too much terrain. I played badly. But there's
I think you summed it up at the table. You didn't feel in control.
Yes.
You had the swinginess and randomness of your magic deck.
Do you know what? The
the
magic deck wasn't even a part of it. So
no, but I'm just saying that forms part of it, because the reason I'm saying this, right?
Yeah,
boys
yeah.
and girls, every round and every shooting, you roll a number of D10. You crit on 10s on a dice. Most boats, the decent boats, have 3 or 4 guns per broadside position. And to sum this up beautifully, Paul's Drake with, what was it, 3 heavy, 2 light, 2 close, or
It was
something to
6.
that effect.
It was around 6 dice I was chucking, maybe 7.
Rolls along and does what's called a rear raking shot on my boat. So for those of you that know, if you shoot at something from behind and it falls fully within the broadside fire arc, it will double damage. If you shoot at point blank range, it will triple damage.
This is from the rear.
Would the boys and girls at home like to estimate how many shots of Paul's hit, bearing in mind he needed 3s to hit me at point blank range, 10s for critting?
Yeah. So, yeah, out of our 6 dice, I think it might even have been 7 dice attack. How much damage? Pretty close, Cheese Me. I think at the end of the day, I took 3 hull points off his dwarf ship. But the thing is, this, right? I did that on turn 2, I believe. I made a bit of a mad lad dash forward so that I could catch his dwarf ship, which had already activated first in the initiative order, with this raking rear close shot with a tiny amount of damage. And basically it all bounced off and achieved fuck all. Then, in turn 6 or 7, I basically swept round an island and really, just by complete random chance, managed to position myself to get a similar shot off one of his other ships. And
the best is you wanted to board, didn't you? You wanted to end boarding me.
Yeah.
You wanted to go to hand combat.
Because obviously, if I boarded him and defeated him, I took control of all of his objectives that were on the ship, because I get to take them as the victor of a close combat. But of course, I rolled the same number of dice that I'd rolled in turn 2, exactly the same parameters, nothing different, and I one-shot killed it and sank it.
Well, you did what? Was it 35 damage or something stupid?
Between 30 and 40 whole points in a single ship. I'm not sure, if I'm honest, Shakos, because I don't play enough Armada. I think you do get a bonus if you're the second board, but don't quote me on that, because I haven't played enough of the game. So
No, you don't. There's no extra ship boarding bonus in Armada. You just get a bonus for being the one boarding in the first action.
okay, there you go. So yeah,
Where's her
it
foot?
was
Just
incredibly frustrating on so many levels to basically, and the problem with it is it then feels that you've got no real agency in the game. Having no age, essentially all I felt I was doing every turn was doing what I had to do to maneuver around the terrain. And that's partly our fault because we built the table with far too much stuff on it. But again, it didn't help that when I thought I was being clever and tactical and pouncing for the kill, I achieved nothing. And then when I drift randomly round an island because I want to get back in the game, I make a mega shot and sink his ship. It just left me feeling I didn't even win this game. I'm not even winning this game. It's just completely fucking random.
But while we had this dead carcass on the table and we were analysing it,
Yeah.
I said an interesting comment to Paul. I asked Paul how was he playing, and Paul said that he'd got sort of a proactive game plan. He knew what he wanted to do,
Yeah.
but he couldn't get round to doing it.
Yeah.
I had completely the opposite thought. I was acting as a very reactive player. So how the board was set up, I saw that Paul was going all the way upwind with his entire fleet, and I just threw the one big boy that can weather the storm upwind to kind of slow down but spoil Paul's game. All of the other stuff went downwind, uncontested, unmolested, and went hoovering objectives.
Yeah.
So I was playing very reactively to how Paul was playing. There was another situation. I think this was round 3, wasn't it? It was just after you'd done that rear rake on my boat. And I said to you, this, as per the rules, this is going to be a thing. So dwarves get to steer before they take an action. They can do it at any point through the turn.
Because of their engines.
Because of the engines. If you end in a broadside fire arc, Paul can take an issue of fire as she bears. Well, we already know I'm in Paul's broadside fire arc because he's just done a rear raking shot on me and done 3 damage. So if I end in his broadside fire arc as I'd planned to go round the island, I was going to be taking another rear rake with a shit ton of damage potential.
Yep.
At point blank range again. And I didn't fancy that. So what I ended up doing was steering out of his broadside fire arc and sailing off the edge of the board. Didn't I?
Yep. You did. And again, I wasn't familiar with the game. I didn't realise you could sail off the board, but apparently that is a thing that is definitely allowed in Armada. And effectively, all it does is cost you a turn, doesn't it? Because you come back on in the end phase with an activation token, so you can't do anything next turn. The turn after you come back on, if you like. And obviously my ships were all bearing to that table edge, and I could have done exactly the same as David did, and I will admit this is a massive strategic error. I chose not to do that, but to basically all try and daisy chain myself around the island in the corner. And whereas I would have lost 1 turn if I'd sailed off the board, I ended up losing about 3 turns because I had to sail around this stupid island off in the corner. So definitely a tactical faux pas. But as I say, David, it very quickly became clear that because of the setup, because of the way that we'd built up this Armada event in our heads, the way we were definitely preparing for this tournament, my approach to the game, as David said, would been very proactive. I wanted to sort of like have a plan, have a strategy, take control of the game.
Have your list that's good at doing what it can do.
Yeah.
And again, this was the other thing that we sort of analysed afterwards. It's not that Paul's list was lacking. The only way Paul can improve it is basically doing a load of spam, which Paul doesn't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think objectively, the wizards in Armada are not competitive because of the randomness. So obviously removing the wizard and actually just building it as a gunship is objectively better.
Yeah.
I mean, the argument about whether a Jakoruk is more value than a Herald, I think is probably less clearly defined. But the argument that you should take the 30 or 40 points that you've spent on your wizard and just spend it on cannon and hull upgrades is unarguably correct in a competitive list.
Unfortunately, Shakos, he couldn't, because his 5-inch movement took him just far enough that his turning arc couldn't then get him round the island, so he had to go round the arse end of it.
Yeah, I couldn't pull up short because of the movement of the ships, sadly. But again, we were playing with far too much terrain, which was a thing. But anyway, I think the thing that basically we wanted to talk about tonight was more the mindset. The fact that I'd gone in there with a control, an attitude that I wanted to take control of the game and be proactive.
You'd gone into the game thinking that you could be blue or black from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Control the pace of the game, control the ebb and flow of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas I went in with sort of more of a green strategy with a dabbling of blue.
Okay.
To use Magic analogies of the green was just go fast, do what I need to, get in, get out for this particular game. I have big chunguses anyway, so I don't really care if somebody's gonna, what's it called, start swinging at me, because it's got 75 hull points.
Yeah, you've got resilience in your army's sort of like repertoire, haven't you?
Yeah, but the blue control side for me is more picking my battles, knowing when to call it quits and break away, or
not only that,
to your play.
Blue is a very reactive colour in Magic. Think about it.
Yeah.
Counterspell. Do you know what I mean? Reactive strategy is a very blue thing in Magic. But the thing is, when we were discussing this, I then had a moment of sort of like realisation that every game of Armada I've played previous to this, I literally had the models I had. I took the models I had. I didn't. Essentially, the only list building, in quotation marks, I did was to make sure that my list was legal. That was it. It was like, okay, well, if I take these ships, what upgrades do I have to put on them so that I have a maximally pointed legal list? That was the limit to which I was strategizing in the list build. And then when I got to the table, my strategy was basically first turn, nah, fuck it, just put the ships anywhere and then sail onto the table. And then from turn 2 onwards, play a reactive strategy like David was doing.
Oh, I've just took it all off.
And I enjoyed those games more. And it made me think, I don't think that this competitive gaming thing is a healthy mind space.
Didn't send it with it.
Is a healthy mind space for me anymore.
Yeah.
Because I built myself up too much. and I should have, because again, when I look at other games I play, Malifaux, Infinity, I'll be brutally honest, with Malifaux, I play less than half a dozen games a year. Malifaux is an extremely fiddly game, and everything's got special rules coming out of its arse. When I play Malifaux, I am winging it all of the way. I don't have a plan. I literally play turn by turn. I almost play model activation by model activation. And do you know what? I enjoy it. I enjoy that sort of play. I enjoy that sort of game.
Right.
Again, most of the games I play very relaxed, informal, reactive sort of play. Frostgrave is another great example. Every turn is like improvising on the fly because the monsters move randomly all over the place and models die at the drop of a 20. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, again, you have to be reactive playing Frostgrave because shit just spawns in front of you, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
what's
monsters
happening
spawn
now?
behind you, and random shit happens. But and then I mean, essentially, I asked the question in my own head, and we discussed it briefly. Was is it possible to, is that reactive relaxed mindset, is that the best way to enjoy war games? Does it fit them because they're such complicated beasts that actually this sort of like idea that you can formulate a plan and control the game is a bit of an illusion in something like a war game? I can
Yeah,
see that it works in like card games and some simple board games, but miniature war games, it's all about the reaction, isn't it?
I would argue yes, because I've had way more fun as a reactive player. And particularly if you are matched with a equal level opponent, like me and you are at similar levels when it comes to gaming.
Yeah,
And
I would say
strategies.
so. We're very closely matched.
And that means that there's a lot of toing and throwing between us, because again, I will occasionally come up with a game plan in the the off turn, if it's an I go you go game, or while something's happening on the table, and then I've got to reactively jump and change tack because it's the rug's been pulled from under my carpet by something that's happened with Paul. So, for example, a model of mine's been killed, or something a bit different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I definitely prefer that more reactive play style. Going in and having a game idea of this is what's going to happen turn one, this is what's going to happen turn two. I'm really turned off to those games. The only game that I enjoy that has that kind of level, I would probably argue, is Blood Bowl. When I'm playing Skaven, I don't want to score a touchdown too quickly if I'm receiving the kick first.
Okay.
Because if I score too quickly, I'm then giving the opponent an opportunity to score.
Yeah.
And knowing that I'm kicking to them in the second half, I've got an uphill battle.
Yeah, you're turning things over far too fast.
Yeah.
See, I know that he's left now, but Cheese Me says here, seize initiative, make them play your game. That's what works in war. I suspect it works in games as well. Maybe it does if you can do it, but
here's something that we haven't really touched on.
Go on.
I think a lot of it relates to system, because we've had this discussion before about like drop zone commander. You want to be proactive. You want to be going first. You want to get your anti-air assets down and onto the table.
Yeah.
Once they're down and on the table, you can then start playing a reactive game with your miniatures about where are you going to go put your anti-armor. Well, let Paul decide where he's putting his anti-armor and then go from there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not believe it yet. I'm trying to figure out which way around the hand goes.
It is the right one, is it? It isn't for...
Yeah, and then we've got
I'm definitely going to be cautious. I'm definitely going to be cautious in future from obsessing too much before I play a game. I mean, even getting into the weeds, list building and that sort of thing.
I don't think that's for her.
I've really become
I
quite...
think it's her.
This experience has really sort of like shaped the way I'm going to look at it going forward. I mean, Chakos says he agrees, and it's an illusion if you want fun. And I don't know as I necessarily agree with that. I think that's possibly a little bit harsh, James. I think, because the other thing that James then says is about there's probably competitive players who do this proactive, play thing and enjoy it. But they're not necessarily fun for other people to play against. And I think that's definitely something. I think that the proactive reactive thing is I think all of these subjects are linked. I think competitive versus casual play, proactive styles of play versus reactive styles of play, and whatever your definition of fun is, I think all of these things are really tightly intertwined.
Yeah.
And I do think do you know what though? I'm gonna push back a little bit there, David. I think the rule set could be a factor, but only in the sense that there are some game systems, like we've talked about Frostgrave, which are so random and not tight that actually if you think that you're going to be proactive and have a carefully planned game, you're mad, because the dice
think up, buttercup.
Yeah, exactly. The swinginess on those D20s, the fact that you roll, because the thing is, what makes Frostgrave so random is that you roll D20s and you don't roll very many of them.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a D20 pool game where you're rolling a shit ton of dice and then taking averages and that sort of thing. There aren't an awful lot of dice interactions in Frostgrave, and they're almost always fatal, one way or the other. If you think of our games of Frostgrave, what would you say? 60 to 70% of dice interactions are fatal?
I wouldn't necessarily rate it that high.
No?
Because again, the reason I say that is because you've got like your spellcaster, and the amount of times we've crit on spellcasting, and then what's it called? Fucking
whiffed on the actual
shot,
damage, the
etc.
ranged
You know
attack.
I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
I wouldn't necessarily say based just solely on dice rolls. If it's a hand-to-hand combat or a ranged combat, yes, I would say it is probably.
Yeah, I was going to say take
the
initiative rolls out, take the spellcasting rolls out. Let's just talk about the combat interaction rolls. They are spiky as fuck, aren't they?
Yeah, they are chunky.
It's like you roll the dice and somebody's picking something up. If you're lucky, it's a fucking skeleton or a zombie, and if you're unlucky, it'll be your thug or thief. But it is. But I think if you've got that sort of loosey-goosey, you better be in this for fun, because you're not going to be in this for any kind of fucking satisfactorily, executing your plan like a mastermind game. I think there are games like Infinity. Infinity is a very tight system, and I think there's a good argument that if somebody's good at Infinity, they'll almost always beat somebody who's not very good at it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna also point out here, Paul,
Yeah.
like rank and flanks.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
they're a proactive game in you want to know roughly when you are striking.
Yes.
You want to know when you are calling the shots to break your opponent's formation. However, you also need to be reactive to their positioning, to their playing, to the fact that you might be getting pulled out of position because they're trying to break your formation sooner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No.
just hold your powder. I think it's one of those games where it's both simultaneously.
Yeah, but again, a lot of rank and flank systems are actually quite tight systems, and I think see ultimately what I was going to say was with a rule set, if it allows that sort of like proactive, not aggressive, but thoughtful level of play, then
You're right.
that is generally going to be a good way to play the game. Like,
Yeah.
if I was to play Kings of War against somebody who's in the UK Kings of War tournament scene, I would probably die very quickly. Do you know what I mean? Because I do not approach that game. I don't know what the meta lists are. I haven't even looked for broken combos. I just play with the models I've got. I don't, I'm not doing any of that. So I would get broken by somebody who was more into it. And
And again, I think we touched on this before our game on Monday.
Yeah.
We've said here regularly on stream that I hobby on hard mode.
Yes.
Paul loves a challenge, so Paul games on hard mode.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair representation of our two characters. I mean, just fucking look at my Malifaux collection. I own probably what would be recognised as the two worst masters in Malifaux, Wong and bloody Asami. You just to give you a rough idea of how shit they are, try and find a video battle report on YouTube with either Wong or Asami in it. You probably won't, because nobody plays them. Except me!
You just dropped it.
And again, it's a bit like the wizard thing, Armada. I can't argue with David. The wizard rules in Armada are really quite random. But I'm still probably going to take it to the event because it just appeals to my sense of the perverse. And and the good news is, with 15 minutes to go, the good news is what I've realised is I probably won't mind if I get bodied in every match at the Kings of War tournament, at the Armada tournament now.
So long as you're enjoying it and you're having fun.
Because I've realised where I went wrong. And where I went wrong was trying to adopt a mindset that I am no longer invested in. I used to build decks for CCGs like 40k CCG, Warcry CCG. I used to go to tournaments at Nottingham and Coventry and that sort of thing. And I used to play test with my mate Rob, and we used to talk about meta, and we used to tune our decks against each other to try and win.
Yeah.
And I've done all that, and I'm over it. I'm done with it. And I mustn't let myself be lured back into that space, because it's not a good fit for me. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
And
it's
again,
just not a good fit for me.
I think this tournament is as probably as spicy as you'd go for ever. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
The fact that it's been advertised as a ideal tournament for new players, it's meant to be a bit of a chill experience and for people to sign up to and enjoy.
Yeah.
Rather than a uber competitive
Is
Clash of
sweaty, is that
Kings
the
level
word?
of advance. Yeah, sweaty is probably the correct word for it,
Sweaty
mate.
tournament. But yeah, as I said, this was always going to be one of those woolly topics where we waffled and probably didn't have much of a point. But I'd be really interested to hear what other people think. Is that are we on to something? Is it actually a quite a good piece of advice for somebody who's getting into wargaming to actually focus on a reactive style of play? You know, don't worry about taking charge of the gaming environment. Just relax and enjoy the interactions as they happen. And you know, are we on to something, or is this ridiculous? Is there
Are
literally
we
no
barking up the wrong tree?
is there no connection between competitiveness and proactive play, and this is all so much bloody nonsense? Because to be fair, I'm willing to listen to an argument that this is overthinking really simple. Shako says, I think it sounds perfect for you, Paul. Take something you like the sound of and go have fun gaming, wins and losses aside. Yeah. And
Because again, I think part of the problem as well, mate, if I can just be honest,
yeah,
I've stumbled across one of the best factions in Armada.
yes, perhaps, but here's the thing, right? It's like I'm in that situation a bit with Amalifo, right? Trevor has got a much more modern faction to me. He's playing sensible Malifaux, so he's got versatiles to strengthen his list. He's not playing to a pure keyword. He had a look before he purchased his master, and he got somebody that had got a quite good recommendation from the community. And yet I still enjoy putting my stupid fireball throwing goblin wizard at him, even though frankly he's not in the same league as Jackdaw.
Yeah.
And I don't end up with that stressed, frustrated feeling that I had on Monday night playing Armada. And as I say, the more I've talked to you, the more I've realised that was very much a self-inflicted wound Monday night. I did that to myself.
And again, we've let GW get away with it, so let's kick that puppy. How many people walk out of 40k because they're done with the power creep and the competitive nature, etc.? Even if they're not playing in the tournament scene, the fact that their set of miniatures from 7th or 8th edition no longer works and is bullshit and is not the best, and just walk away from the game, never to play it ever again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got stuck to it. There you go, you're off.
Shakos, James says, I think there's a connection with the competitive side, but outside that, I think it depends. I always go for what's fun or what I want rather than think too much. And that's the thinking too much is the trap. And maybe that's a piece of advice that can come out of this video. Okay.
Don't. Oh, where's your fifth one?
So it's just
Because let's put it this way, right? If let's say you're
Maybe it's not
introduced to wargaming through a particular game system. I'm not going to pick on Games Workshop. You have a friend and he says, "Do you want to try wargaming?" And he holds you by the hand and you start to get into it. And
She bounced this thing, didn't she? Hang on.
let's just say that this friend of yours is really into it, and he's a Night Rich, and he's a bit sweaty, as in he's very competitive, and he goes to tournaments and blah blah blah. If you find you're not enjoying what you're doing, don't give up on the hobby because of the approach. If that makes sense.
Don't go to the tournament with the sweaty neckbeards. Play with your friends.
Well, it could be that there is fun for you in this. It just might not be the same fun as your friend. So, you know, maybe that's a word of caution that, you know, don't worry over much about power building your list. Just collect the models you want to collect. Of course, make a legal list for your game. Build it right. But don't try and build it strong. You know, just don't overthink it.
Look at the models that you think are cool and build it. Because again, we've stumbled into this with Carnivale. Like, fucking Dracula's a cunt. And I hate him with a passion.
Yeah. But again, I only bought him because he's Dracula and that's cool. Turns out...
And again, I'm not
turns
knocking
out
it
he is
for that,
massively
mate.
OP.
Just, he is broken.
And to be
Same way
fair,
that
without even thinking about it though, when you actually say that, I've stopped playing with him, haven't I? I mean, when was the last time I put him on the table?
the three-way you have with me and Spam.
Yeah. And now it was 2 against 1.
I've got
wasn't
a delay.
What?
He said he just realised what he said. Fucking excellent.
No, I knew what I said. It's the way that Spam reacted and went, "I'm sorry, you what?"
Clip it. Clip it. It's all over the internet. But yeah, again, the powerful option didn't appeal to me. I want to take the weaker option, the harder option. I like gaming on hard mode.
You're not helping yourself here, Ginge, for clickbait.
Taking the hard option. Shakos, you what? Oh dear. Look, it's 5 minutes to go. How are we doing? Have you managed to have a productive evening?
Yeah, I've nearly finished several models.
Just for everybody who was here last week, obviously I tried an experiment where I decided not to prime these miniatures because I thought they've got this sun drop TM finish
with the hand you've just put
on them.
Where did it go?
And I thought, well, if they've
the
been
stash to the
like
side.
painted with some
hope
sort
in a
of
minute.
product, surely they won't need priming. I have regrets. I wish I'd primed them. Because this sun drops.
Is that because of colour bleed or?
To be honest, I think this sun drop effect must have some sort of like enamel in it because it's like water repellent, and it's really making the coverage difficult in some areas.
Couldn't be a polyurethane, could it?
It could be, couldn't it? So,
Because the army paint of polyurethane, if they've just dipped it into a vat of it, like
Yes.
army paint of fucking polyurethane,
Yeah, that's a
that
good
shit
shout.
goes waterproof as fuck.
Yeah. So, just in case you're wondering, with this, if you buy these miniatures with their lovely sun drop table ready finish, which is crap, prime them. Do yourself a favour.
I was going to say, I've definitely had.
Oh, James.
Are you taking the
Oh,
proactive?
Are we taking a proactive or reactive approach to
Oh,
hard
shut
mode
up.
3? Right, okay, come on, let's wrap this up. 3 minutes to go. We might actually finish this goddamn live stream on time, mightn't we? You never know.
Before we go to wrap up.
Go on then.
I've said it a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to say it again now. We've been at this now for years, and we are beginning to struggle while we've not got any news for topics.
Had you noticed?
If you have any suggestions, please DM them, throw them in the comments. Point us to other content, etc. If you want us to do reaction videos like we've done previously to Uncle Atom.
Yeah, that would be a cool one. If you think that there's a video that you would like to hear us pontificate on or talk bollocks about, put it in the comments. If YouTube will allow you to post URLs in the comments. I don't know how it is with shit like that. I'm sure if there are other videos on YouTube it wouldn't be a problem, but yeah, that would be a good one. Nice and easy too. But yeah, in all seriousness, like David said, when there's not much happening in the gaming industry that catches our attention, the topics can become a little tricky. And the other thing is, even, again, how often do we say hard mode is our byway, is our watchword? We don't want to start covering old ground again. So we don't want to start covering topics we've already covered before. I think it's I'd like to go probably 5 years before I revisit some of our topics rather than do it like only after 2 or 3.
Let's paint Mr. Scrotum Face.
Which might be me trying too damn hard. Ooh! Oh! Fucking hell. Paul, thank Christ you're here. Right, can I get this picture up? Let me go to... Right, we're going to try and share Paul's Instagram pic because I said I was going to do it and then I haven't done it. Properties. Can I add a picture? No. Add a... Oh, no, I don't want that button. I want to add a file. Where is it? Is that it? Or is that it?
Do.
Okay. Let me just see. No, that's not it, Paul.
Are you uploading your midget porn collection?
That would be funny, wouldn't it? Candid images.
You said it, not me.
That's
Just don't keep them on the same fucking hard drive, then you won't be making them issues.
That's gotta be it. That's it. I found it. Now then.
How many episodes of content will Scrotum Face provide? Unfortunately, this is the end of Scrotum Face because Scrotum Face, once I've painted his gun this week, is done. He will be in the paint competition.
I was going to say, these guys won't be on any future episodes, only as photographs, because we've got to have them done. Not for next week, but the week after. So I suppose, no.
Yeah, this week, is it not?
It is this week, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
It is.
It is. It's Monday. So this is the last time that they will be on here in the unfinished form. Here we go. So this is from Paul's this is David screenshotting Paul's Instagram. So, I'm sure, sorry the picture's not so huge, but this is Paul's teaser. Now, you did say you are going to be doing a blog post with more details about this, correct, Paul?
Your chair just whooped.
Where am I here? Cookie. Dwarven Holidays, more than just an adventure. I don't know what's the dwarven connection to what appears to be a ginger raccoon. What's going on, Paul?
Well, you just have to wait for the blog post, won't you?
Yes, I saw that. Blood and Bayonets.
That's cute.
Well,
We need more information because it looks really cute.
Oh, that's a
That's
red.
right.
It's a. It's a
Right up
red
my street.
panda, is it?
look at
Okay.
you not knowing your American fucking mammals versus your Asian mammals.
Awesome job. Well, there you go. We've got you one more follower, Paul. I must confess, anthropomorphic animals in clothes. You have my attention.
Yeah,
You
I
have-
literally
you have my
I
attention.
commented on this and was like, "Excuse me, where was our fucking teaser?"
I hope that we get character models. That would be awesome. I can't wait to see what he does with that.
I'll just be a troll under the bridge.
So yeah, watch this space, guys. Pandyman on Instagram. Go and follow them now, and Facebook, to get your up-to-date news on what he's up to, and see pictures of a red panda saying something about dwarves.
What?
Didn't do blue balls.
Right.
No, I didn't do blue balls spam. Fuck's sake.
It would have matched his clothes. Right, okay, let's call it a night. Thank you very much to these guys over in the chat, our co-stars here on the Yellow Belly Tabletop live stream. Thank you very much for putting up with our bollocks and chipping in with your 2 penneth. It's a pleasure, as always, to have you with us, and it makes the show way more fun for David and I to do. If you're joining us later on YouTube, thank you very much to you also. We are eternally grateful for everybody that watches us. Whenever you watch us, we only have one simple request in terms of interaction. Please click the like button on the videos that you watch. It's a small interaction, but it just pushes these 2-hour epics in the YouTube algorithm a fraction. And if you can only get a few more people to see it, then that's fantastic for us. Obviously, as David said earlier, one thing we'd love is topics. Things that you want us to talk about. And it can be anything to do with the tabletop hobby. We'll tackle role-playing games, board games, card games, miniature war games, anything. If it's at all related to the tabletop hobby,
if we can play with it on the tabletop, we will talk about it.
That was on the tabletop, not under the tabletop, everybody. Okay, noted. Right. Okay. Yes. Support Brokeback Expo. Okay, guys. I think that just about wraps us up for an evening. So with that, David and I will fade into the sunset. Sort of like, I'm not even going to continue with the cowboy analogy because I just fucking know that that's going to haunt if I do.
Step down off your high horse, bitch.
Yeah, the Brokeback Expo thing could get fucking out of hand fast. Look, good evening, guys. We'll see you later.
It's another Thursday night. I see Crispin's wearing tights. Sparrow's getting in the bath. Young David's full of wrath. Paula's tightening his straps. Where on his apron you saps. Technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties. They happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time. Cheese meat is on day release. Dan still tries not to crease. And Ewok's keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening up the can. Technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties. They happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time. Cheese meat is on day release. Damn Chef tries not to crease. And Ewok's keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. 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 Cheese meat is on day release. Damn me up tries not to crease. And Ewok's keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can.